So I asked him, well, share that, please. He told me, hey, listen, I own a house here, and I don't know where you are. I've never seen you here before. And he was just off. That's like surreal to me. So I'm being taken back in a time machine. I'm disillusioned in our system, our constitution, or people die for nothing. People sacrifice for nothing. I'm human. I feel. I've got emotions. I get happy, I get upset. I want mediation. We need to find common ground, because this will happen again.
So, who is RASOOL Hendricks?
Well, firstly, human, father, friend, traveler, surfer, and South Africa. Somebody that stands for truth and against injustice. Surfing, I always knew I would be in the ocean. And I've always had a relation with water since a young age. I played competitive rugby for a bit, and I started surfing quite late. One trip up the West Coast, and I negated rugby and soccer and all else, and I immersed myself into surfing. Because once above bit, I knew this is what I wanted to do. Once I started surfing, I looked at our coastline and nature through a different lens completely. Even the neighboring African countries and overseas, I traveled to experience the people was one thing, one perspective of it, but to experience their nature and their environment, especially from a First Nation perspective. First Nations live with and within and in symbiosis with the environment. And as a surfer, you're constantly conscious of swells, storms, what's happening, pollution, ocean and sea life, even the life on the coastline, dune life, sand moving. So it makes you fully aware of what's going on in your environment and how it affects people upstream, downstream. And the nice thing about surfing that I think that gets you addicted is that you're in the moment. It's not yesterday, it's not tomorrow, and you're surfing, you were present right there. And the construct that we live in, we're always stressing about the end of the month, or we're stressing about this, about that. We're never always appreciating where we're at. I mean, at that point in time. It's like a kid playing in the sandpit. I mean, like a grade R or 5-year-old, 4-year-old, once they're in the sandpit there on the swings, that's where they're at. They're not thinking outside that sandpit. Their reality is happening right there, and they're present there. So I think the older we get, we lose some of that, being present. Positive ions affects you positively. And you're immersed in the water, and you're in awe of what. Every time we go surfing, we're in awe. I met a lot of people through surfing as well. And I think I'm quite social. So I met a different cream of person. And these are people that's up and down the coastline, always in the ocean, any excuse to be there and we're present. And so I formed a lot of friendships and bonds. And by default, I formed opposition as well. I'm 49 years old. Right? So I have witnessed apartheid. I spent time at the school called Excelsior on the tech flats. And students are always key in fighting oppression and bringing about change. Running battles here to a square intense. And so I know what oppression is like. I've seen people being chased around, slapped, thrown out of places, restricted from going to a certain beach. I've seen it. Roadblocks, people being just taken out because they're people of color. So I've witnessed that. And being in this space currently, I can identify certain characteristics. It will be easy to identify. So from being at the so-called colored school, I then enrolled myself at Kaparibi in 1990 in Close Street. So it's an Afrikaans school white Afrikaans school. And I had obviously apprehension for my first day at school. But lo and behold, it was so refreshing going to the Upper River. There was not one iota of discrimination, entitlement. Within 3 months I knew there was school. I never felt odd or out. That to me was, this is how the new South Africa is supposed to be. We all work, live, and enjoy ourselves in unison, no matter the differences, but we've got more commonality than differences as humans. Living in a city center, I was removed from my black brother surfers that surf on the Valspan at Muizenberg, Strandfontein. There is a group of surfers there. It's been surfing there for years, since the 80s. And they're also fighting oppression on their side. So me living in town, when I started surfing, I had to go to beaches like Glen Beach, Sea Point, and Landado. So my first experience at Glen Beach was that I went to surf there for the first time. I wasn't good at all. But I got dropped out of the water, dragged out by like 7 guys, and I went back into the water. The following day when I returned, they knew who I was, and they were very forthcoming and very welcoming. Hey, Rasool, bro, hey, the waves are good, we're gonna enjoy it, come, let's go surf. And then subsequent to that, I was alone in the water for a bit. One of the big wave surfers, he came out. It was quite beautiful, Glen Beach standards. And I just received new wetsuits, Quicksilver, and new balls on Peter Daniels. I was chuffed, and it went up and down. Next minute he paddles out, and as I ride my wave, he turns around and he drops something in front of me. Right, so he burns me. So I asked him, is that how we're going to start our relationship here? So he told me I must off. I was living in Hard Bay at that time. I must go or to South Beach or back to Hard Bay or something like that. No, I shouldn't be here. This is their way. And when on my way back paddling, he rode over me. Right, so he damaged my board. So I was forced to leave the water. 2012, I'm up the West Coast with my family. I'm 7 gallons by. There's a group of 5 gentlemen. There's a lot of people in the water. There's about 25 people in the water. And there's 5 gentlemen on the outside. So when the bigger waves, the sets come in, so they come in like 4 waves in a set. Right? They will be on each and every wave. And you'll get inside waves coming, smaller ones on the inside. But these gentlemen will be on all the set waves coming. All 5 of them, they rotate on themselves, between themselves on the outside. We're all sitting on the inside. I've got the right not to want to sit there, but I also would like some like the set waves. We've got to share. So I asked him, we've got to share, guys, please. Nobody drove for 3 hours to what you guys surfed. There's smaller, younger people, there's some older people here that don't want to be competitive. They just want to wait their turn and go. They ignored me. I asked them a second time, I said, please guys, otherwise I'm going to ride the wave with you. So the third time they did it, so I dropped him behind the guy. I didn't drop him in front of him, I was riding behind him. So then he tried to get me off the wave, so I'm knocking me off the wave. So he knocked me. Damage on board. I wiped, so he rode the wave on. As I'm asking him, oh, what are you doing? He told me, hey, listen, I own a house here, and I don't know who you are. I've never seen you here before. And he was just off. So at that point in time, he reached out to grab me. As he grabbed me, I got his arm and I got him in the rear naked choke. I got him. Didn't throw any punches. I didn't need my elbow or any arm. I told him, if you have respect, where you go, if you have respect, you come back. So I let this guy go. He paddled in, and I never seen RASOOL surf on. And next month, so this was on the 27th of December. I went back to Cape Town, I forgot about it. Come 17 January, front page, Cape Towns, the ANC up top, taking back the Western Cape with Zuma's picture, and below that, black on white violence up the West Coast. We restraining him, and that went viral. Wavescape, another site, posted the story. I had the story. There's another platform that had the story, and the story was one thing, but the comment section is key. Because then, okay, so there's people that's trying to character assassinate me, no problem. But within an hour, the narrative or the story was not about me anymore. It was beach against beach, Cape Town against Derby, Joburg against this. And then went international. I could actually see then where surfing is about just act. It takes me back. And the people chase you up and tell you this is theirs and you don't belong here. I come back straight into the apartheid, where the riot police is trying to chase you out of town, chase you off a beach. It's the same, and it was how can it be possible? Post 1994, and yeah, I'm being told I don't belong here. I should go back to the location. That's like surreal to me. So I'm being taken back in a time machine, under this illusion in our system, our constitution, or people die for nothing. People sacrifice for nothing. Black and white. Freedom fighters all around the world rallied support to fight the oppression. And here I've got people that's behaving again like the oppressor, just because they're entitled and they grew up with comforts and money, and they didn't have to struggle once in their life. Because I think if somebody had to struggle, they would be able to relate to those who didn't have and those who are oppressed. I'm the product of surfing in South Africa and surfing especially in Cape Town. My life is quite inclusive. My partner now is Joe. I've got all sorts of people in my life, from all walks of life and different parts of the world. Because, like I said, I'm a human first, and the human race is what I ascribe to. That's why the disillusionment it brings, and the hopelessness that people are trying to character assassinate because I want to stand up for what is right. And then, as I said, these people are connected. It goes on me with the South African surf industry. So they mobilize through these businesses and networks, and they can cause a lot of damage, or they try to cause us to compound stress. So I really have to worry about survival for myself, my family. Social media they use, they recognize that. If I sit still and think about it, and if I can become quite paranoid, I can become quite paranoid about where they can take it, where they want to take it, if I do not push back. Although I was standing up for something that was right in our constitution and for what we stand for as a country and as a people. Surfing is not that big in South Africa, but it's growing. And we saw post-COVID also a lot of more people in the water. And the surfing industry has reached, it's not that far into the civil society in South Africa. But it's white-owned, definitely. And let's say there's few, they call it development surfers, which I find very problematic. Development, because they had to get help to get surfboards and to get the competitions or to get through to events, because they don't have money or resources. So that speaks for itself, really. So I've never been on record to negate all the media accusations that brought against me. Secondly, I have no criminal case against me. If anything, I laid a criminal case against that gentleman for trying to attack me in the house by. When lo and behold, there's a whole story fabricated around this. I want mediation. We need to find common ground, because this will happen again. And it's not going to stop until we set a precedent where no one can be discriminated against or chased out or reprimanded from surfing anywhere in South Africa, no matter who it is. It has to be done. That's our responsibility. Even if I do this, then I know I've done something. for the greater good and for the generations to come.
Thank you so much. What are you telling? I'll sit there with you afterward. I'll look at that.